Hey everybody, this is your work for Friday, November the 13th. I'm going to show you a couple of examples to help you out with the work that you've been doing from Wednesday and Thursday, ionic and covalent bonds. So the first thing you want to do is add to your notes this page right here. This electron dot diagram will help you correctly place your electrons around elements from a certain family. So depending on what group they're in or how many valence electrons you have, this is how you always want to set up the dots around the symbol. So the first thing is add that to your notes. All right, the next thing you want to make sure that you have done is ionic bonds, which was from Wednesday, and covalent bonds, which was from Thursday. So if you go back and you look, here was Wednesday's assignment with ionic bonds. When you finish that page, take a picture and turn it in here. This is yesterday's work, Thursday, with covalent bonds. When you finish that work, take a picture and turn it in there. And of course, there are videos on each one that provide you with more help on ionic and covalent bonds. You also want to make sure you have handy this page back from Tuesday because this helps you understand, depending on what element is, if it needed to gain or lose an electron. And the answer key for that has also been put out. So make sure you have that correct. Okay, so let's just do, I'm going to do two examples. I'm going to do two examples from ionic bonds, B1 and B2. And I'm going to do two examples from covalent bonds so you can kind of see these being done. I'll do C1 and C2. So on the examples here, here's ionic. Remember, ionic wants to give and take. Ionic bonds want to give or take. This is a metal and a non-metal. And so when I have sodium here, sodium is Na and chlorine is Cl. And I put in my electrons around it, 1 for sodium, 7 for chlorine. And I'm referencing that notes page that you added today. And sodium would want to give the 1 to chlorine. And I've now made NaCl. All right, a little bit different here with magnesium. Magnesium, Mg, and iodine. And so I put in my electrons. Magnesium's in group 2, so it has 2. Iodine has 7. And so magnesium wants to give 2, so it's going to give its first one here. And now the question becomes, well, what does it do with this second one? Well, to give the second one, you just make another iodine and do the same thing. And now the second magnesium can go to an iodine here. And I have made MgI2. So remember, ionic means to give and take. All right, continue with your other examples on that one. And now let's take a look at covalent. So covalent means to share. So this is a non-metal and a non-metal. So they share. Similar to ionic, but sharing, not giving or taking. So here's hydrogen, H, and chlorine, Cl. And so I would put 1 for H and 7 for Cl. And because they are sharing, you show that by circling like this. And so now hydrogen has its 1, 2, and chlorine has its 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so I've made HCl, which is hydrochloric acid. And now let's do the classic example of water. I have 2 H's, 2 hydrogens, and I already know that I'm going to have to set them up like this. You'll kind of learn this, but 1 on each side. And then my 1 oxygen. And so hydrogen has 1, whereas oxygen has 6. And so referencing the notes that you took today, when it has 6, you draw it like that. And hydrogen is going to share right here, and that gives it 2 to be happy. And this hydrogen is going to share here, and that gives it 2 to be happy. And meanwhile, oxygen gets its 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I have obviously made H2O, or water. And so that is how you do covalent, which is sharing, ionic, which is giving and taking. Complete your examples. Make sure you turn them in on the correct day, either Wednesday for ionic or Thursday for covalent. And that is your work for today, Friday. Have a great day, everybody.